Hey, what's up? It's Frankie here. Crab City here on the beach. That's a kind of dead crab shell. And I want to give you guys a way to take your 90-minute sales calls that you typically have and give you guys a proven way to talk to less people but more qualified, so you'll close just as many sales by talking to only the best people. And take your 90-minute sales calls and turn them into 5-minute sales calls. So let's get into how to do that. So, in order to stop having all these sales calls that are pointless, I don't know if you guys have had this experience, by the way. I used to jump on the phone with just about anybody, and I've had periods where I would do like 8 to 10 sales calls in a row with inbound leads we were generating through Facebook, and I'd get on the phone with everybody, and about half of them would have that just kind of like folded arms, or that convinced me. And what I mean by the temperature test is I would realize in hindsight, on the prospects of working with me, they were about a 3 out of 10 warmth. And I would be the one who have to take them from a 3 to a 10. And when I changed this process, what I found out, and what you'll get to experience, is I realized I only really wanted to talk to people who were 7, 8s, 9s, 10s, especially those 8, 9s, and 10s. People who were mostly decided they wanted to do it and were quite serious about it, but just had some last minute questions or concerns or things like that. And that was really actually mostly a waste of time to get on the phone with people who are 3 out of 10, because you're very rarely going to take those people to 10 out of 10. You can learn amazing sales skills in doing that, but you kind of arm wrestle them. It feels like arm wrestling them for the credit card. And if you're like me, you probably don't like arm wrestling with the credit card. You like to use the Schwartz.
You have the ring. And I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Now let's see how well you handle it.
Gotta love some good old Spaceball. But you want to have your process be more seductive. Bring people in with a little ooh, I want them. I want to do this. Not convince me, big boy. So here's the key nuance, the key strategy piece. Is when somebody says, hey, I'm interested in working with you, get on the phone, is I want you to send them a little, what I call a pre-qualification video. And one of the best things that you can learn to do is be honest, very deeply honest about the people you are best suited to help and what they must need. So I actually just had a video with a lawyer I sent right before we left. And the video was something like, hey, I would love to talk to you. But before we do, I just want to make sure talking is even going to be worth your while and benefits. So can I send you a little video, just a short thing that summarizes what we're going to talk about? And I'd like you to watch that video. And at the end of it, if it still makes sense for us to talk, then reach out. But this is my way of protecting you from wasting your time, because rather than us talk for a couple hours, you can just check out the basics of it here. And the video has info for example, in the case of this offer, you got to already have 1,000 visitors a month to your website. You got to have a couple of testimonial videos, which this person happened to have, so it wasn't really an issue. But I start the video saying, here's who it's for. So you need to have these things for us to even talk, because otherwise it's not going to be worth our while. And it's best if these things are binary, by the way, yes or no kind of things. By the way, here's the sandy dunes of Del Mogote, La Paz behind us. So it's best if those things are binary, not wishy-washy, do you want more business, but more like I said, do you have 1,000 visitors per month to your website, yes or no? You want it to be very sorry, a bee just landed on me, scared the shit out of me because I'm a little bit allergic. Anyway, so I want you to add this step between your sales calls. If you want, you can also include some proof elements. Say, hey, this is what we're doing for our client Gary. This is what we're doing for our client Joe. This is what we're doing for Brenda. Those case studies, because those are the things that are actually going to make your sale. And what you'll find when you do it this way, about half the people who were never just going to buy from you at all will just not do it. They're and there's reasons, they reveal themselves through their behavior, right? They weren't that interested. They just wanted to know how much was it, kind of thing. But in the case of the 8 out of 10 people, they're like, well, yeah, I'll watch a 10-minute video to find out what this is about because it sounds interesting to me. Sounds like what we're looking for. So what ends up happening is you cut your sales calls in half, but you don't cut your closing in half. I can see my lady is swimming naked in the beach. So I'll give you guys the long range view, but not the up close. So I want you guys to add this step to your sales process because what you'll find is your sales calls just get really fucking easy. And they go from 90-minute calls to like 6-minute calls. And the 6-minute calls were like, hey, I like the thing you got. I just have a question. How much would that cost us per month? Or would it work if my website's not on WordPress? Things like that. They ask you just last minute kind of, will this work for me kind of question. And counter to, by the way, to what most people do, and this should be high on your questions list if it's not already, we do in fact put the price in the video to say, this is how much it would cost you. Ooh, sorry, a little sweaty here. Most people say like, oh, until they get to the very end of the sales call and they know what it's about, then you should wait on the price. Give them the heart attack at the very end. And what I found is I want them to have a heart attack before we talk. I want them to go and check their bank account or their credit card and know whether or not this is something they can do and want to do. I want them to be decided. And I'll tell you get a different caliber of client as well because they're more actually respected, right? Like when you just jump on a sales call with somebody who's not really interested and are not discerning, they just feel like you'll sell anybody who's a credit card with legs. But when you say, hey, let me send you some more information just to make sure we're the right fit, and they take a step towards you and say, yes, this is actually very useful, and I'm interested and we can do the price, then what happens is they show up differently. They show up as happier, easier, better to retain clients because they were the ones who made the decision to work with you. It wasn't done through a convincing kind of, so it's more like seductive, more pull. So I want you guys to implement that and let me know how it goes. Just a little video that says, here's what this call is going to be about. A little bit of qualifications in there. And of course, let them know how much it is. Don't hide behind that. I actually proudly put that out there up front. Say, and if you want to, contextualize the price with a little bit of value. Say, say your thing is $5,000 a month. You say, hey, this is the $5,000 a month, and here's what you're going to get out of it that's worth more than $5,000 a month. So, hope that's helpful to you guys. That was a game changer for me, is not doing sales calls with people who are 3 out of 10 and would never buy. You'll question your sanity if you do that. And that's all I got for you guys in this video, so may the force be with you.